Welcome back to another episode of the Good Enough Gaming Podcast. Oh, Trevor's repping the shirt. You can find that shirt at GameCon. Is this
exclusive?
Is this out next week?
Trapaholics.
Hey. Yeah.
This will be after GameCon.
No, this is before.
This is before. This one is June 11th.
Yeah, so look out for that shirt at GameCon. This week's episode is entitled, Can You Beat This Score? There are tons of things in gaming that make the experience that much more visceral and surreal. But today we focus on one such aspect that our dear co-host Trevor helps us celebrate on this show. And that is soundtracks in games. We are talking about those games that you could listen to over and over and over and over, again and again, to the music and never tire of it. Maybe you even use it on your commute to work. Maybe you use it to get shit done around the house.
Maybe you listen to it at the gym.
Soundtracks that fit that game style perfectly, that get you ramped up, or just feeling a very, very certain way along the journey.
Right before bedtime.
Yeah. It's time to chime in, sing some praises, hit the rewind button, and just enjoy the jams. Don't be afraid to sing along, because this episode is going to be off the charts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Casey.
And the weekly top 40.
Once again, are we old?
Shit. Oh my God. Those were always
the best. If you don't know what that was, you are too young to be around us.
Shame on you. Shame on you.
So obviously today, we're talking all about game soundtracks. This is something that is held very dear to all of us.
Yes.
I know Jordan has a very special place in his heart. He wishes to be referred to as Hans today in honor of Hans Zimmer.
Yes, sir.
It's Hans Tuda.
Goat. The goat.
So, soundtracks can definitely make or break a game. I know, again, recently, we keep coming back to it, but like Expedition 33, and it's 126 track soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
Banger.
Exceptional. And like sets the tone. It's this operatic, beautiful thing. And
it just got us thinking.
Bangers.
It just got us thinking about all these games that had great music, really throwing it back and just getting into that, like, what games from top to bottom had some of the best music out there.
I have many a list.
Well, I hope you would. This is like
it's my job.
Yeah.
But to Kyle's point, to start off with a fun one, if you ever need to get something done, now you need, if you're listening to this, you got like a paper due, like a term paper due tomorrow. You got to clean the house. Like guests are coming in half an hour. Mario Kart soundtracks will get you there quickly, because
there is a whole segment of ADHD population that will play the Coconut Mall, I believe it's Coconut Mall soundtrack. There is a whole TikTok trend. It's like, give me your most unhinged ADHD life hacks.
And this just found Kyle's feed.
And of course, this hits Kyle's algorithm. Yeah.
I don't know how this came up, guys.
It's just doing research.
One of the things was people were saying, I played the Mario Kart Coconut Mall soundtrack level on repeat. You could find like 10-hour loops of it. And they're like, I am so productive.
It
gets things
wild.
Done.
That's wild.
Have you tried it for yourself yet, Kyle? I don't think you have.
No, I haven't yet.
Robin, if you're listening, you can find this track.
Spotify.
I do find that if I just like put music on, I get stuff done. So
that's fair.
Weird.
So anyways, Mario Kart, Coconut Mall, great start.
Good one.
That's hilarious.
On that same racing game note, can we talk about F-Zero-X? And it's like synth metal, like
That one did make an appearance on the jukebox.
That was a
That is
jukebox
like
thing.
hair metal solos.
Yes.
Like if that's your thing, if you're like a Kiss fan or you're like an 80s like rock and metal fan, and your favorite thing was going to concerts for like the ridiculous, oh my God, he played like a 10-minute solo for no reason. Just listen to F-Zero-X all the time.
Yeah. On that same like synthy sort of note, the entire Streets of Rage series.
Yeah, Streets of Rage has some great music.
The fourth one again is very like synth metal, like kind of like futuristic sort of vibes. And again, it fits the genre perfectly. It fits the vibe of the game perfectly and makes you want to fight stuff.
If you go back to the old retro stuff like 16-bit, heavy guitar riff stuff, Mega Man X, for me, like that one, there's so many good songs.
Slapping the guitar, just getting into it.
Like I'll even just listen to that on the like driving on the highway. It's like just get fucking moving.
As you just run people off the road in your truck.
I think, Trevor, I think you need to splice in like Senior Chang playing the guitar at some point. This podcast is just community references at this point.
Correct. Yeah.
Correct. Now, I know none of you have played it, and I think this game is probably going to come up again in a future episode, but the Death Stranding soundtrack is spectacular. Kojima found a band called Low Roar to come in and do the majority of the music for that game. The band is like very melancholy, very like emotional type music.
Like a Low Roar.
Right?
Yeah. But it's great. If you're looking to just like veg out and just kind of like, kick back and relax, be in your own feelings a little bit, maybe
sit on the bus and look out the window while it's raining.
Correct. Yes. You see a guy eating a pizza and you're like, why don't I also have said pizza?
Like sad Keanu on the bench. Like,
yeah. That music is great. I had never heard of them before until I played the game, but there are certain points of the game where their music just like comes out of nowhere and it's perfection. So good. So, yeah.
Nice.
Anyway, continue.
Yeah. The one that has gotten to me lately, and I think same thing, I think I'm the only one that's played this game so far. The first or the last two iterations of Doom were done by Mick Gordon.
Yeah.
Doom Eternal, there was a whole thing. And so the soundtrack was a little bit ruined there.
I'm sorry. The whole soundtrack just makes
but the newest Doom, so the Dark Ages, for anyone that hasn't played it yet, it's on Xbox Game Pass. I think it's out on everything now. You're in this new kind of world. They've kind of put a tweak on Doom. They've brought in a group or a band, a group. I don't know exactly what to describe them as. And they're called Finishing Move Inc.
Okay.
The best way that I can describe this, very similar to like what Mick Gordon did, is you get kind of some of like the beeps and boops of sort of like a high tech, futurism, cyberpunk type thing. This is cinematic metal. That is the only way I can describe it. This is like the big moments from a movie. Thinking of something like a Hans Zimmer, something along those lines, like thinking of like the Dark Knight series, kind of like darker cinematic. This is like orchestra level, so like no singing,
right?
Metal. So if you just want to like kind of headbang and just kind of bob back and forth, and what they've done so well in the most recent Doom games is anyone who's played them, you typically get kind of put into these arenas. A ton of guys spawn. You're just shredding your way through things. Like it feels like a rhythm game because as soon as you get into the game, as soon as you get into that arena, you are just exploding people with any number of weapons. And typically they kind of like turn up the volume as you do it. So as you get into it, you're just like fed just louder and louder music. And it's just, it's so good. And the guys from Finishing Move, like honestly for this, like it is very good music.
I could never picture Doom having any other type of music.
No, it's just
like,
synonymous.
Yeah. It's so well, even then they didn't have like a ton of music though, right? Like you had like the grunts and like the dying sounds of all the enemies. But I think with the newest, there was a bit, but I think with the newest ones, especially with like Mick Gordon, was like, hey, you're going to get into this arena. We're going to crank it up. And like, there's nothing else going on. So you can just blast away while you're just like angry raging with the music. It just fits.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of angry raging, a game that like the gameplay itself, like, was not great, like, but it was a rhythm game. It was a first person shooter. It was a weird mix. But Metal Hellsinger, if you are any sort of like metal heavy music fan, the amount of featured artists in this that made music specifically for this game, like lead singers of Dark Tranquillity, Arch Enemy, Ginger, Trivium, Soilwork, Lamb of God, System of a Down. These are all like major metal artists that created specific music for this game, and it fucking slaps.
Yes.
Like you get into these fights and it's so perfect for what's going on that it fits entirely.
It's so nice that they did that too. Like,
oh man,
such a wacky idea. I want to make a metal rhythm murder game.
And then I want the best artists in this genre to make me a song for this game.
I don't want any metal. I want the metal.
You know what's really funny though?
The metal.
They had DLC tracks for this game that completely don't fit the niche.
Oh no.
So they had like Feel Good Inc. by Gorillaz.
Oh, weird.
Weird.
Good song, but
great song.
Yeah.
Why?
They had
that's an odd one.
Pop song. I mean, they had Disturbed, Down with the Sickness. So like,
I mean, that's correct.
But then like Paramore.
Oh, okay.
Like a pop punk misery business. But then it goes back to some of their other DLC. They have Christina Scabia from Lacuna Coil. All these other major metal artists like lending their music and their singing to this. And if you like metal and you like strong vocalists, this game is like 10 out of 10.
It's going to hit.
Like
it's going to hit.
The soundtrack will melt your face.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you need a good face melt every now and then, you know?
Yeah.
Now
Daryl,
to bring it back.
Sorry,
go Daryl. No, that's fair.
Recently.
Yeah, no. Let's hear his sultry voice.
Well, I was just like, oh, are we getting into like the, we're now leaning in towards the like, oh, these are actual licensed artists, kind of like in the games and stuff. Like kind of segue. For me, there's a couple games that like really stand out, and like let's be honest, the early 2000s for games like had sort of that lovely pocket of licensed music in games that really, really worked. And honestly, 2002 to like 2008 NHL games all had amazing soundtracks.
They had great songs in it. Yeah.
I feel like once you hit about 2010 is when studios were just like, we just want all the money. If you're going to use our music. Yeah. And it killed so many good soundtracks. Like
even the NBA 2K games, like 2K5, 2K6, like those soundtracks were great.
You used to have such good hip hop and just like kind of whether it was new or just like slightly under the radar.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then some of those songs would get massive. Like the biggest one, obviously, we talk about is like the Need for Speed Underground series.
Well, Underground 2
is like
one of the greatest soundtracks of all time. Like
exactly.
Like one had some really good songs, and like Lil Jon being like in the intro is perfection.
Fucking huge. Yeah.
But like Riders on the Storm is like kind of synonymous with Underground 2 as you play deeply into that game.
Yeah.
It's just such it's so weird because like you're in this underground racing world, but Riders on the Storm is it's so good for that game. Like it's just it is
and everything else they did too, right? Because that game was so edgy, right? This is still the time where like, you know, games are getting more popular, but they're still not like a big thing. And so you're getting kind of like I would call it like the fringe culture of gaming, where you had Little John and you had like some more like, you know, up and coming or big name rap.
With Pharrell.
And then you're going to like, and then you're going to like fucking Mudvayne and like Rise Against and like, and so they just covered such a huge base, but it all worked.
It all worked in that.
And it was all fantastic. Like I can't think of a bad song on that soundtrack.
I like and Need for Speed Carbon did a really interesting thing when that one came out. So it depended on the type of car you were driving, what the playlist was going to be. So like if you were in an exotic car, like there was a specific set of songs that came on. If you were in a tuner, there was a specific set of songs that came on. And like, I always wonder like, why didn't you kind of keep that somewhere in some of these games, you know, in Payback when you're driving as different characters? Like, why couldn't they have like different music tastes or something? You know, like it was just an interesting facet I thought that they did in that one that I really, and it was a good soundtrack.
Yeah. Like to me especially for racing games specifically, the game that's kind of taken the mantle in the last couple years has been Forza, like the Horizon games.
Oh yeah.
Like those have a really big set list of music, and then they've got the multiple radio stations as well to kind of curate it for you.
Like based off of like sort of Grand Theft Auto kind of situation.
Yeah.
Where you know, the extensive music library, different stations. But like Forza, man, great music involved there.
Like,
now,
like they've kind of taken over for Need for Speed.
Yeah.
Do you remember like all like the Motor Storm and like motorcycle games in the early 2000s as well?
Midnight Club.
Oh, Midnight Club.
There was
great music.
House real big, car real big. Everything is real big.
I feel like any sort of like extreme sport video game in the early 2000s had an absolutely banging soundtrack. Trevor, I don't know if you remember, what was the wakeboarding game?
Sean Murray Wakeboarding.
I cannot listen to Mississippi Queen by Foghat without thinking of that game.
But it's the same thing. Like they kept the genre and they're like, okay, we're going to get some like down on the fucking bayou wakeboarding music. And it fits, but it's also like obviously curated to not just get the worst music ever. But it fits, and you're just like, this is so fucking catchy. And it's the same thing. Half of Kyle's musical personality is from Tony Hawk. Like, that's how much of an effect it has, right?
Hey,
that's not true.
Ska's the lifestyle, man.
Ska defines me as a person, and I will never turn my back on ska.
But it's so tough because you switch to stuff nowadays, and I can't remember if we've like bitched about this or not, but like the newer Need for Speed games are fun, decent games.
The music's
but they've got like 12 songs. Like, and some of the songs are kind of catchy.
I like some of the music in some of the new ones. But
the problem is they kill it because it's like the top 40 song on the radio that you've heard 8 times in a day.
Yeah.
And same thing. Like they're like, it's licensed music. It's okay. I've never heard of any of these people.
They have Cardi B.
One of those. Yeah, I've heard like one song one time when like my wife took me into like Aritzia. I was like, hey, that's a song from Need for Speed. Oh my God. But it's just, that's the problem. Like, whereas when you're playing some of these older games, it's like they either had the budget or licensing wasn't so expensive that they just had such a huge library
Agreed.
comparatively.
I didn't mind
that
in
you-
Heat that it was like Latin, like it was more Latin-y based.
That was
like
cool.
I thought that was okay.
themed.
I
yeah,
like
but like
that.
Unbound should have had like A$AP Rocky's in the fucking game. Like, why don't we have more hip hop music and stuff
Yeah.
that's like relevant to that sort of like Chicago-y?
Because he's having a hard time.
Oh gosh.
He's having a tough life because his music sucks.
Yeah, just
We want to put
hot.
it in, like, dude, we can use her voice as a character, but by God, we don't let your music near this.
Don't let him sing. Don't let him rap.
Oh man.
Yeah. No, I think definitely with streaming services for music popping up, that definitely changed the landscape for all digital music and music rights and how you have to pay for things and who has access to certain things. Like it's unfortunate because I mean a lot of the games nowadays, like you don't get Need for Speed Underground 2 without that soundtrack. And that soundtrack doesn't, cross decades without the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's twofold, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily think there's any games out there that are modern games that have that same kind of connection where it's like,
No.
Like maybe Doom is like that type of game is maybe the closest. But yeah, like you just don't get that type of connection anymore to the music.
It's like a fine like wine and cheese pairing. It's like wine is good, cheese is good, but then when you put these two things together, it's just like
Yeah,
just
Chef's
blossoms,
kiss.
right? Like just like
it's the best. Yeah, and
the
go
ahead.
sorry. I was just gonna say like the one I guess benefit to licensed music kind of disappearing in modern games is it has opened the door to a lot more composers, and it's given a lot more shine and light to people out there that would have maybe never had their music heard from a mainstream audience, because now gaming is very much so a mainstream thing. And it's like, well, now you're getting a lot of these composers like the God of War composer or Halo or Ghost of Tsushima. Like, if you had licensed music still in games, you probably don't get that stuff, so
I
it's
don't
kind
know.
of
I think it depends on what your game is trying to do and like what story you're telling, because I also think of original Final Fantasy games and like early on when soundtracks were being put into like that's a composer special. Like those old RPGs are like the perfect games to put composed music into that, create a sound to an area. You're associating a song to an entire like piece of the game.
Donkey Kong underwater level.
Yeah.
like Sonic underwater level.
But you're associating that with a town, with like a spot on the map, like with a section of the game, with a particular person of interest. Like those things are all done really well in those RPG games. Like you got your God of War, you got your Ghost of Tsushima. I love the soundtrack in Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 10. Like those are really good scores. They're like it's good music.
Well, the funny thing about that too is like we can complain about some of the licensing problems and things that Spotify brings, but there would be no other way to listen to these things.
Yeah.
Right. Up until recently, no one's saying, hey, I want to listen to the Final Fantasy VII original soundtrack, or I want to listen to the F-Zero-X soundtrack. Like aside from YouTube or Spotify,
or playing the game,
you're not getting that shit on a CD or like, that's not on iTunes. It's not, maybe some of these new special editions now, everyone's going back to like vinyl, right?
Yeah.
Let me just pop on my F-Zero-X vinyl. That'd be sick, actually, with the pin if it was a little race car and it looked like it was going around.
Sick as hell.
But like the funny thing is the access to this music has gotten so much better. So to Jordan's point, like guys who come in like Bear McCreary, who does the God of War games now, like I know his name now. I would never fucking know his name otherwise.
No.
Like, unless that was my absolute
Only the
favorite
most
game of all time.
hardcore fans would know otherwise.
Yeah.
Like Mick Gordon. Would
Yeah.
anyone?
I mean,
No.
another perfect example is Expedition 33. Like, you
Fucking
You're a
amazing
SoundCloud
soundtrack.
guy.
and
Yeah.
like that was found
It's
on
just
SoundCloud.
Perfect
and,
circle.
like, that stuff wouldn't have been found, back in the day nearly as easily. And then it also wouldn't have the staying power that it does. Like, I still, I beat that game weeks ago and I'm still listening to probably 6 to 8 of the songs from that game on a
And
regular
they're
basis.
catchy.
Mm-hmm.
They're
They're
good.
so good. Yeah.
They're
Yep.
really good. The
So-
funny ones to me too is in the indie space. It's funny. I actually found kind of like the perfect blend of indie on indie here. This is also a chance now, sort of like, I would call this like the more ethical version of like TikTok, of like where TikTok would take a song and just murder it and pay somebody, and you're going to hear it for a week and everyone's going to fucking hate it because everyone's going to dance to it. But there's also the chance for like a composer or an artist to make a name for themselves in the musical space, like through video games now. Right? Like we've seen,
Yeah.
some artists kind of come out of that, stuff like that. So like one that I found recently, Jordan, this is probably a game you'd want to play, Pacific Drive.
Yeah.
I don't know if
played
you've seen this. Oh, okay. So yeah, very indie game. You're in the Pacific Northwest. You're just cruising in a car and like kind of some weird shit's happening. But you're same thing. You're getting radio stations, and these are all licensed songs that just fit the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
I had never heard of any single one of these artists. They're all these like really indie, kind of like not specialized, but they all kind of fit a slightly different theme of, maybe a little bit more country, a little bit more like kind of like traditional, like hipster indie in my mind. But like that whole soundtrack is incredible.
Yeah.
And the whole time I'm like, yeah, I can see this like kind of apocalypse-esque, like Last of Us in a station wagon, last car on earth, driving up the Pacific Northwest coast. And this comes on, makes sense.
Yeah. There's a game that I played, and I don't think I've talked about it on the pod, but where it does a unique thing where music that I wouldn't necessarily be interested in just listening to it on its own, but when it's mixed in with gameplay in a unique way, it's catchy and it like just lends itself really well to the overall experience. The game is called Invector Rhythm Galaxy. I came across this
techno shit.
Yeah, I came across this on like an Instagram ad, and the game was super cheap one time, so I picked it up. It's basically Rock Band, but you're flying a spaceship through like very colorful like Tetris type levels.
I think you did mention this, and it gets like psychedelic.
Yeah.
It does
You've
at
talked about
certain
this,
points
yeah.
for sure. But like a lot of the music is licensed, and it's all like some of it is very poppy and electronic, which isn't my thing typically, but mixed in with the game and the colors and like the effects and all this, it's like, this is kind of cool actually. Like some of these songs are actually super catchy. It shows you how powerful the right kind of music can just suck you in, even if the game necessarily doesn't do that right off the hop.
For a second, I was worried you were going to talk about that like bubble pop game and be like, I'm really into K-pop now or whatever that like. I can't remember what that game was called. It was awful.
Infinity
So-
Nikki?
No, it wasn't the dress up one. It was
Was it a rhythm game?
no, but it was just awful.
Okay. All right, we're gonna come back to that. We're gonna let Trevor
Yeah.
ruminate on it.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a segment break here and go back into obviously my favorite segment. We're gonna go into some wrong answers only this week. So, me, take it away.
answers only.
Thanks, me.
It's awful every time.
Yeah.
And I do it every time.
So cringy.
I don't give a shit. So, if you're just joining us, if you don't know the concept of this bullshit thing that I do, this is wrong answers only, where I give the guys a bit of a prompt and they give me the worst possible choice. Inspired by our Nintendo Switch 2 release and its ridiculous peripherals last week, I had to ask the guys, I had to know. Tell me some of the new peripherals, like lesser known ones, that are coming out for the Switch 2.
You don't want to know mine.
I also have an absolutely terrible one.
All right, well, let's get those out of our hair early so we can edit them out. I like how I said get it out of our hair early, but like...
Yeah. 3 out of 4 here.
I don't want mine edited out. I'm just saying it's awful.
Okay.
So I did no prep for this because I was driving all day, but this just came to me about 3 minutes ago. Daryl, you've watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, right?
Oh, yes.
You remember the episode when Mac has his bicycle with the hole cut out of the seat? So Nintendo seems to really like their Piranha Plant peripherals lately.
Uh-oh.
And because the Nintendo Switch 2 is so goddamn expensive, you may as well get the peripheral where you can play the game while riding your bicycle, and the Piranha Plant just
snaps you.
Well,
just snaps you.
Here's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say maybe Nintendo comes out. You know, there's been lots of scandals lately. Maybe Nintendo comes out with some sort of a new Mario chess game, and there is a insertable device to help you cheat at chess. For anyone that knows that reference, because this is a real world thing that happened.
Yeah, it sure was. I like this one too. This one's good.
Very much along the same line.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, welcome to the segment, Kyle.
Welcome to the butt plug segment.
Wrecked him, damn near killed him.
Okay, so we all remember the Wii Fit.
Yes.
This is the Switch 2 Fit, but it is circa early 2000s era, where everyone is severely underweight. No matter what you stand on the scale on the Wii Fit, the Switch Fit.
Switch Fit.
As the Switch Fit, it is an early 2000s model. So you're obviously 50 pounds overweight of what you should be.
Oh, that just eating disorders. And
Yeah.
the era
was the
of
early 2000s.
the low
It's
rise.
called the
era.
Switch to Fit.
Switch to Fit.
Switch to Fit. Yikes.
Yeah.
I
Eating
do-
disorder not included.
I do have a slightly more PG one, so.
All right. Those exist?
Whoa.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Daryl. Sorry, I didn't want to cut Daryl off. My bad. Have a go, Daryl.
I thought it's like kind of like the ongoing thing. Let's go opposite of Switch to Fit is, you know, when you're using your Switch to, watch television on or whatever else it's going to be able to do in the future here. I'm sure you're going to be able to, you might as well have the open mouth Kirby popcorn bucket. Just like
a giant amiibo,
like it.
just a giant
Oh my
Kirby amiibo.
God.
You can just like make
just
out with
as he's,
Kirby eating popcorn.
sucking in air. That's the pose for the popcorn bucket.
Just popcorn, just with his little tiny arms.
And it costs $59.99. And it also has a streaming camera on the front of it.
And it has,
It's only 480p.
but it's made of that plastic that's not supposed to be in water bottles anymore.
Yeah,
Products,
that's right.
Like
BPA.
that BPA.
And the only way to get popcorn out of it is you have to press a button, and then the Kirby bucket just spits it back into your mouth for you.
Just baby birds it.
spit in my mouth, Kirby.
Oh God, this went so far off the rails.
So I actually have a great one because so Kyle has kids. This is a great one. This once again, this goes back to a little bit of the Switch, and it goes definitely back to the Wii era of peripherals that will destroy your home.
Perfect.
Also, it's going to bring back some childhood memories for everyone here.
Oh,
So
boy.
what I'm thinking of is the chain chomp. You know, the guy he's stuck on a chain. But that chain is in fact the single leg jump rope that we used to have.
Oh,
The one that would go on your ankle.
and you spin it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you spin it.
Yeah,
You got to
yeah.
jump over it with your other foot.
Yeah.
So you can
Oh
just
my God.
smash the coffee
So
table.
funny.
I don't know what game this would go with. Probably some sort of a Mario game peripheral. I mean, fucking Mario Party, buy 4 of them. Everyone could just bruise
That's
each other's
brilliant.
shins.
Oh my God.
Just a chain chomp attached to your, I can't even remember what they were called.
Skip it?
That might be
Skip
correct.
Bo.
Yeah.
No, that's a card game.
What?
It's a skip it.
It's a
Kyle's
skip it. Yeah.
correct.
Let's give it. Nice.
Yeah. Wow. Well done.
That's a
Just
good one.
absolutely destroy the legs of all your furniture.
My millennial knowledge is unmatched.
What was that thing that came with 2 handles and if you pulled it, it like went towards the other person? Like,
Oh, the paddles?
Zip it.
Was that the zip it?
Oh God!
Oh my God.
I could just
If
bring
I'm
back.
right-
Let's just bring back Mario lawn darts for fuck's sake. Just
Yeah.
throw lawn darts at each other's kids. Like we're bringing back the 50s.
Zip it sounds right.
No,
Yeah.
it's a zip. It's a pencil case.
Okay. What was that thing called though? Like, you know what I'm
I
talking
know,
about.
I know exactly,
And if you
yeah.
didn't open up in time, that thing hit the handles and like hurt your hands.
Bloody
Like,
Crushed your knuckles. Yeah.
Bloody knuckles.
just pain. Oh, that thing.
If anything, I think they just need to bring out more peripherals for the Switch controllers that are just like ridiculous, like accessories. Like I want a full size like Link sword, so that if I'm playing the newest, Tears of the Wild 4, that I'm just like swinging a sword in my living room.
Yeah, I want a
And just
duck hunt
crush the
sized
TV.
gun adaptation. I want like a Nerf gun sized adaptation that
Okay,
this
so
little
the-
Switch
bring back-
controller magnets
the-
into.
The absolute best peripheral. Kyle and I recently helped our mom. There was a charity sale, and somebody
The fishing.
was giving away all of their
Yeah.
like old gaming stuff. And we sent this to you guys. They had it was from I think it was the PS2 era, and it was a very special edition Resident Evil game, and it came with an arcade style like pistol,
The light
but it was
gun.
the full arcade light gun that actually had like a sliding action,
Yeah.
like it gave you recoil.
That's sick.
It's like, man, like I'm sure today they'd probably want to charge you like $400 for it, but it's like, what happened to the great peripherals?
Those were dope. And we also got a PS1 era fishing rod.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
That
that
was
Yeah.
wild.
every
That's
game
what I
has a
thought you were
fishing
gonna
game
say.
mini game in it. So
Yeah,
why not
yeah.
just get
Give me a fishing
the
rod.
Nintendo fishing rod?
Oh my
If
God.
if Nintendo ever brings back the Super Punch Out franchise, I want boxing gloves with motion sensors in them.
Just bop it, just sock 'em boppers.
Yeah,
Sock and
that's what I want.
poppers, sock and poppers.
All right, this went way off track. Jesus Christ.
As it does.
It's
As
typical.
It does. All right. Great segment, guys.
Was it?
No. It was good enough, Daryl.
Okay.
So, to
Also-
bring it back,
To bring
Trevor,
it back,
do you-
first I have to start. I found the game.
he found
It
the
is
game.
Foam Stars. I'm talking about
Foam
Foam
Stars.
Stars.
Home Stars. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Terrible game.
I need to talk about one that's coming out. It's like a rhythm-based Sifu.
Oh, yeah.
The game
yeah,
is
yeah,
called
yeah.
Dead as Disco. And it has a licensed soundtrack, but you are fighting people to various songs.
That's sweet.
And your
That's cool.
rhythm and like keeping up to it increases your score. It like the art style and everything is like neon and like super fucking cool. This is a game where like I would be okay like beating the shit out of someone to Taylor Swift. There's actually like
Feeling
Taylor Swift songs
22.
in it. Yeah. Like just telling them to shake it off and you just beat the shit out of them. But this is a game where like it's a weird adaptation, but Trevor's watching gameplay.
That's
Right?
wild.
It's wild, but it works.
It's a decision.
And I'm curious how it plays because it could be fun. Like there's some definite potential there and like it's something that like hasn't quite been done in that way.
Bring back,
No.
bring back rhythm-based games.
Good ones.
Yeah, give us a new Rock Band. We need another guitar.
Yeah,
Bring
like
back Parappa.
honestly, I would play the new Parappa the Rappa. I would.
There's a
Parappa
Nintendo
the Rappa.
peripheral you need. Like you need a freaking Nintendo peripheral for that.
What about like the
DJ Hero that existed.
That
DJ
did
Hero
exist.
existed? There was also Samba
Tambourine
de
Hero.
Amigos that was like the maracas.
Yeah.
There's the Donkey Kong bongos.
Yeah. There's a wide variety of like we've shifted here from soundtracks.
It's okay. It's
to
okay.
game
We're still
peripherals,
talking
but
music and games.
Absolutely. I would love a new Rock Band. There's Clone Hero, which is a PC game where you can plug your guitar into your PC and play Guitar Hero and like use sound charts.
Oh, that's kind of dope.
A ton of different songs, but it's on PC. It takes a little bit more work to apply.
There's also an app. So my brother-in-law uses this because he's relearning guitar. And unfortunately, it's paid, right? You're paying for the licensing, but it is teaching you how to play guitar like Guitar Hero from like the very basics through to like,
I could
right now
mess
he's
with
doing
that.
like hammer-ons and hammer-offs and all this stuff.
Is
And
this
it's catered.
Rocksmith?
I can't remember if it's Rocksmith. There's two of them right now.
Rocksmith
There
was
one
the
of the-
big
one
one,
of the two.
but
Yeah.
Yeah. But same thing. It caters to your skill. It's like doing Duolingo, right? It caters to your skill and to what you like. So if you're like, I freaking hate Led Zeppelin, they're not going to teach you how to play Led Zeppelin songs, but it's going to give you like
Play
this
it.
variety. But it's like, I mean, he loves it because it's
Ladies
just like,
and gentlemen,
it's like playing
Wonderwall.
Rock Band. Yeah. Anyways, here's Wonderwall. In some cases, I guess you could call that a video game.
That's pretty cool.
So like what are we hoping for then?
I just want songs again that are synonymous with the game that just make you go, oh, that's from this. Like I can
That's
just sing.
that game,
I can
yeah.
just do this and go. And what am I talking about? What game?
NBA
Street
Street,
Team.
Exactly.
NBA Street
Like you
1
just
and
know.
2.
You just know.
Yeah.
You know, like I want that opening sequence where it's like,
Yeah.
I know that song is like now synonymous with that game is like as well as other things. But like, just give me that hook. Just give me that hook.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean like again, like iconic games. I'm gonna go to my old favorite, like Black Flag.
You and your sea
The
shanties.
Oh my
Sea
god.
shanties,
The sea shanties. And that's what awakened it. I still listen to sea shanties from time to time. The looks I get from my wife when I'm cooking in the kitchen and I'm listening to fucking like
I think you should set those as like your wake up alarm in the morning so that you're like
That
being
would be
called to
funny.
work
Yeah.
on the poop
Get
deck.
up.
No, my alarms right now are like those like quirky rom-com like soundtracks, it has like Vampire Weekend and be like da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Just like the start of the movie that's like this indie punk rock sort of thing. That's my alarm. And
Of course it is.
ruins
You and
it.
your like
It's fucking hilarious.
We are all
imposed
judging
main
you right
character energy.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm the most important.
I'll be there for you. And like Daryl said, bring back a good like title screen.
Yeah, just give
Like,
me
that
just
is-
that alone
Yeah.
would make a huge
Yes.
difference.
Catchy ass music right off the hop.
Like,
Yeah.
but and like I don't know, maybe we're hoping that labels and these larger companies will at least give their licensing for a decent price so that games can implement them in. And like
Mhm.
because there are games where I listen to the music in there and that's what made me go and listen to that artist, like, or look up that
Absolutely.
artist. Like honestly,
Yeah.
until the NHL games, like I didn't know who Gob was, and I heard OL, and I was like, I'm fucking with this. Like I like this.
Daryl gave up his grudge and he's never gone
Yeah,
back.
there we go.
And but he didn't shut his fucking mouth.
Yeah.
But like, so
think about
there's
GTA games too.
Yeah, like,
GTA games did that a ton.
and to further that, Saints Row put me onto some other house artists. Like, Dead Mouse was in those games, which was sick. But then there was other people in those games where I was like, I don't know. I didn't know who that was until those games. And I was like, that's what I feel like is being missed. It's a missed opportunity to have your artists and your music seen by a different demographic of person potentially, and then get some more traction. And I think that's a huge miss.
Yeah. Yeah. You definitely get, there's kind of this, like, there's a mix, right? You're going to get these huge, big new games, right? You're going to get your Final Fantasy VII Rebirths. You're going to get like your Horizons.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, having this as a composed, whole orchestral thing
Makes sense.
because you're going to have these regions. And as much as we shit on Horizon Forbidden West sometimes, like they did a great job with the music, right? You're like, I'm in this zone and I hear it and I feel it.
Yep.
Yeah. But like, you're not going to put like hip hop over that.
No,
like, that's just not going to work. Doesn't make sense.
Think about the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, T.
No, I was just saying, but
I can't wait to listen to Wu-Tang while I'm playing Ghost of Yotai.
That would be fucking sweet, bro.
That's some like.
I see you come with the Wu-Tang style.
Yeah.
I mean, it was perfect for Ninja Turtles. Like,
but that was so good.
That's
but I mean,
it's finding a place, right? Yeah.
Well, and think about the importance of adding your song. Like, if you think about it from the artist's perspective, like think about that song that was on the last Stranger Things season.
Yep.
It was an
On the Road
song.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever the fuck it was. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That was an 80s song, and it was number one on the Billboard 100.
That's what I'm saying.
In 2020.
Yeah, and it had never done that. I was like, and I can't remember if it ever hit number one when it was new.
I don't think it did.
It was just in the sea of things at that time. Yeah.
So like there is an importance to adding your music. I commented GTA, but like GTA Vice City.
We've spoken about this.
Flock of Seagulls.
Yeah.
Like that's a 2000s game that introduced 80s music to a whole bunch of kids that had never heard of 90%
other than your parents imposing it on you, like it.
Yeah,
you were like appreciating.
Yeah, but now it's cool.
Yeah.
But the same thing. There's certain songs from that era that come on, and immediately I'm like, oh, that's Vice City.
Yeah,
like
that's what
I don't
mean.
associate it with anything except for that game now.
I just think it's sad. Like if Grand Theft Auto and Forza are our only ways to get like a massive catalog of songs, like, that's a bust. Like that can't be right.
Yeah,
like that's
it's
not
unfortunate.
good for gaming overall.
That can't be good.
Yeah.
It just it's hard because like it's nice to see when, like you say in Stranger Things, right? We're gonna pull something out of the woodworks. It fits really well. It was probably cheaper because no one knew that song.
Yeah.
Right. But no one's going back and being like, hey, can we buy that Kiss song? Or that like that Metallica song? They'd be like, no, fuck you. That's gonna be $1 million, right? Just for the song. And it sucks because no one's gonna pull that trigger. But it's like to find that like hidden gem, create something that lasts way longer.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like, there's so many examples. And I think of like Daryl saying, like talking about like NBA Street and like some of those like more arcadey games. Like there's so many good songs.
That's all I hear in my head right now, Daryl.
Yeah.
Like it's just that's to me one of the worst things in new age, like new games that's missing. Like there's so much good music out there. Like so you have to take that. And to your guys' earlier points, like there's composers that like have gotten their, I guess, flowers. Like, I don't know Nobu Uematsu like by name without understanding like that's the guy that composes Final Fantasy VII and other games. Like you gain an appreciation for those things too. But man, like there are the arcadey, like less serious games that should still lean into these other, like skateboarding games should still have sick punk like rock and soft rock music being played like in those games and stuff, and NBA and NHL should have like they should have star-studded tracks like coming into the game in your loading screen, in your menu as you're loading into the game, and the NHL, your players are circling ice. It should be like a freaking wicked song playing. Sure. You know what I mean? Like it should be something good. And NBA, like it should, like the menus and like WWE games, all of it, like all of that stuff should have like the level of music that was in the early 2000s. Like I'll say it again. Yeah. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing. Fucking Burnout 3 had an amazing soundtrack.
Burnout was great too. Yeah. Imagine booting up the newest NBA 2K and DMX is the first.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like
first artist that you hear. Like it'd be so good.
What a hood at.
Opening up like some new, because isn't there supposed to be some sort of like not a remake, but there's kind of an NBA Street-esque.
Yeah, there's we saw former. There's a like part of the former team are creating
NBA Street fans.
Yeah,
you crack that open, and it's set in New York, and you're getting freaking Biggie.
Yeah,
to open that like game's over, right? Like, just like this is the best fucking thing ever. Yeah.
Nas.
Give me Childish Gambino, like anybody, like right? Just, like anybody who's like new and young and kind of up and coming. Like, I don't know if we need Kendrick in there, but that's just personal preference. But
if their name has Lil or Uzi in it, I don't want him. I don't want to hear it.
Unless it's followed by John. If it's Lil John,
yes.
Lil Wayne,
but any other Lils.
Yeah. Oh, true.
Yeah. Any other Lils beyond that, I don't want to hear any of them.
Oh, come on. You don't want to throw back the Lil Bow Wow? Come on now.
I do not.
Just give me T-Pain and we're good to go.
Oh,
just death to mumble rap, I guess is what I'm saying. Like,
like we want our generation of rap, which like we're gonna have to deal with the fact that like that's more than likely if you're gonna get a new street like basketball game, we're gonna get the new age rap. If some of our stuff is mixed in there, that's wonderful. But like, let's be realistic here.
Kyle's writing bars over here. Jesus,
I'll take some garbage if there's a couple goodies at the end of the trail.
Yeah,
like there's got to be something in there. But
like, I agree.
So, speaking of the end of the trail. We got to wrap this up. Otherwise, we're just going to continue waxing poetic the whole time and just shitting on mumble rap.
Back in my day, the music was good. Exactly.
I'm feeling fucking old talking about it. But
a reminisce, I'm just saying.
Game soundtracks, again, early 2000s game soundtracks were so phenomenal that it set the bar so high. And now it's gotten so expensive that game studios are forced to do something different and create.
Which is too bad. It's just too bad.
It's too bad, but it's also good at times.
At times.
If there's a game soundtrack that we need,
I'm sure we missed the dunch. I barely even got the touch
so
on
many,
stuff like
yeah. If there's some we missed or ones that you feel are transformative, tell us because we need to know. We love a good game soundtrack. But we got to cut this off. Otherwise, we'll be here all night.
All I can say, closing thought. If you are a multi-billion-dollar studio, like FIFA, I don't know if we really need music in Warzone, but we're talking sports games here. Pumping out money. Spend that money on some licensing.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Because personally, I might not spend money on your game, but I'm more likely to play it if it has that attached to it.
Yeah, if it's got good music.
And because you were
100%.
You were the last person. You were that one person who can afford the Ferrari, and the rest of us are like, please do it. Like, I want to see that on the street. I want to appreciate it, not just on a poster. spend the money, do it, because it will be so much better.
Do the right thing.
And with that, like, put in music for all of the demographics that play your game.
Yes.
Yeah. If
Millennial
this isn't an
gamers.
orchestra setting the scene of your grand, Kojima masterpiece movie / video game, like hit those notes, right? Like figure out who's playing it and just make it match. That's the biggest thing.
I agree.
Done.
I agree.
Great final thoughts, Trevor.
Clip it.
Clip it. I think that was good enough.
Good enough.
Good enough.
Yeah, good enough.
It's good. You know what? Better than good. Good enough.
Good enough. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at GEG Podcast. Check out our website, goodenoughgaming.com, and write us an email about anything from our episodes or something you would like us to discuss in the future. You can also now join us on Discord on the Good Enough Gaming Discord server. We really appreciate you listening and hope you continue to join us on this epic adventure of discussing all things gaming and nerdy. Please subscribe to the Good Enough Gaming podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever else you listen to your podcasts, and rate us 5 stars so we can find more good enoughers in the process. Just remember, we might not be great, but we are good enough.